So how did you all first meet, become friends and think of starting a business together?
It's very funny, how we met. So we both stayed in the same hostel, and Rajasthan Vidyarthi Grah, but we never met in the hostel. After the hostel, when we began both CA, and we were all staying in Lokhandwala complex, I had a Hero Honda bike, and he didn't have. He had a commuting problem from Lokhandwala complex to Andheri station. So first he took a ride with me, and after that it became a daily affair. And then we started traveling to Churchgate, and we started then. But suddenly we discovered that we both are interested in stock market, and that was the beginning. Moti, you
I think I took the lift from him.
lift.
So
That's the word.
on the bike, he had the bike, and he had that Hero Honda bike, and that's where he ended up buying a lot of Hero Honda stocks also. But that was the connecting point. I think bike, had he not been having the bike, then I don't think so that we could have even really met for this kind of partnership.
So what were the initial bottlenecks in a city like Mumbai? How did you start getting your successes?
See, everything is a bottleneck, because you start from zero, and you don't have capital, you don't have office, you don't have clients, you don't know what business you want to do, how you want to do business, whether what is going to be the profit, loss, nothing. There's only one junoon that you want to become businessman, the stock market, you're excited about that, and hence you start. So you start with zero. Literally, we spent about 100 rupees in buying 2-3 registers, the register from Kalwa Devi, that stationery store, and we didn't have confidence that we'll be able to make success out of this, and hence the first 100 contracts and bills were xeroxed. We didn't have money we didn't want to spend money to print a contract book and bill book, which we built after 15 days of success. So when you start from super zero, everything is an opportunity and everything is a challenge. You have to learn by the day, and that's where if you know what you want to do, slowly everything starts falling in place. Clients start coming. Now what happened was Moti was having two brilliant clients in his brothers, one in Chennai, other was in Ahmedabad, and they were doing the premium business. They used to buy on the spot in Ahmedabad and post immediately after the post issue, and since it was listed in Mumbai, they used to sell it here on a T+15. So there was always a 2-3%, 4% depending on the stock, and I had all the research on those stocks. So what attracted probably Moti is that my view on all these stocks, well ahead of the listing. So I didn't have money, so I only had view. He had stocks, but he didn't have view. So, and he was looking for a broker, and I was looking for a client. So it was, and both were chartered accountants, both were lukhas in the marketplace. So it became a very perfect fit. This marriage was made by God only, in heavens like. So there was nothing to lose from anybody. He was not giving me anything, I was not giving anything to anybody. There was no capital on the ground. So he had an office. His brother had bought an office for 1,25,000. सवा लाख रुपए कोई ऑफिस खरीदा था. It was Dhobi Ghat, and some broken table and 2 chairs. We had 2 brilliant brand new chairs of 110 rupees each. Okay, and sorry, 3. One he used to sit, one I used to sit, and one for the guest. Okay, that used to be the total table. It was very, very funny place. But we had a lot of excitement at that point of time. We were as happy as we are today, with zero capital, zero balance sheet, and literally zero revenue. But we built it slowly.
No, I think, of course, when you start, there will be a lot of constraints, as Ramdev has said. I think which time, if Ramdev, you remember, even telephone used to take 6 months to 9 months. And we got one broken telephone after 6 months. Some OIT scheme used to be there. And Ramdev knew one office boy. So we hired him, because to get the talent also, where do you go? So just through, I think, few resources from the reference from the friends, we got few clients. I think luckily the office was there, few clients were there. And then I think from client, you get more clients. So through referrals, we started getting clients. But I think the most important thing was that service. In those time, the brokers means really, I think, very poor service. No expectation of service from the clients. But from day one, we started that we'll send at least contracts, maybe Xerox one, but we'll at least courier the contracts. We'll confirm the trades. We'll tell them at what price we have bought and what is our brokerage charge. So that kind of transparency was not even there. And of course, I think the market also sometimes were in very bad shape. few days, some days I remember even we used to pay taxi fare also were not being recovered because there were practically zero transactions on some of the days. Today we might be doing about 1 million trades a day, but in those time hardly bad days, one trade, two trades, even no trades. So to motivate yourself was sometimes difficult. Oh my God, the whole day is wasted because there were no trades. But I think the excitement was there. I think since there was no alternate career possibility for me, that at least either I go to my brother's place or my father's place or I do something here. And
I didn't have any alternate
luckily,
career opportunity.
yeah, so
I go to my
luckily-
village and till the land.
yeah, yeah. So I think it was good, interesting time in those days, and we were willing to learn, willing to commit some mistakes here and there. So I think looking back, it looks quite interesting, funny. Of course, we used to do a lot of hard work. I used to commute. I didn't have even some money to even take on rent my own flat. So I took a friend of my own, in Dombivli. I used to commute, which used to take 3 hours every day. And in the train, in the local train, I used to even make the client's bills and client contracts.
All the accounts were done by him
So
alone.
accounting was done in
In
the
the
local train, sitting here or standing even sometimes. But I think because you can't afford staff, you could not have afforded, I would say, very kind of high-end books or contracts and whatever. So with minimum resources, we try to make sure that we give the best clients advice as well as the service, which was rare in those days.
So now, how did you kind of, obviously over the years you got to know each other, and then where are the places or how do you think you complement each other in terms of strengths and weaknesses or in terms of areas where you cover for each other?
Yeah, so in broking business, one is research, second is the execution. So pre-trade research, trade, and then execution and settlement. That's how the value chain flows. Okay. So initially, all the entire value chain was taken care of by me and him. So I was tilted towards research and order taking. Order taking was a job because clients used to call and morning till evening 24/7. You have to attend the phone and take the order. Recommend the research the idea, and generate an order. Apart from what was coming from Ahmedabad and this thing. So other clients, you have to generate idea and do the sale and generate order. Then used to come the execution. So somebody has to legally go on into the ring and execute the trade. So obviously Moti somehow had flair to go in the ring and execute the trade. That's how it started the history. I could have gone and done this thing trade, but somebody had to talk to the client. So talking to the client, I took it up and he went to the room. So it became 1+1 kind of team. Right from day one. He went to the ring, I went to the talking. I don't think we could have reversed the role. He couldn't have done the talking to a client, and probably I could have done very lousy job of executing trade. And he was one of the most efficient. He was moving very fast, and he could. So in life, I have never bought any share. He has bought only shares. I have never bought a share or anything. So I have said I want to buy this, 1 million share of this or that, but I have never hit any deal. So it was a very natural kind of a distribution of work in terms of execution, and so that's how then slowly this research, strategy, talking to the clients, outside communication, that became kind of a more forte. Within the office, taking care of the client side, the regulations, the interactions with the authorities, income tax, as banks, then everything started becoming bigger. So all of those things, they started falling in his bucket, and he started creating the organization. See, he means you have to create organization and take care of HR and all those tamasha to make a company tick. That started falling in his lap. So I think it was a very natural distribution of work, and we never had any kind of a fraction in terms of figuring out who will do what. When you are asking this question, then it is becoming, I have to give some answer to figure out how we distributed work, but I don't think we've ever sat and, Moti, you will do this and I will do this. No, it was just a natural way of doing things. Whosoever found anything to be done, we just did that. And in accounts, I can tell you still, for A group accounting, he was not knowing how to tally the Valan. Valan was my task. A group accounting bill, everything is done. After that, Valan tally, and I was very clear that paisa to paisa Valan must tally, so that my financial books are absolutely perfect. One of the thing was we were 100, true to the chartered accountancy, we were absolutely zero defect accounts we used to prepare. At that point of time, the accounts were not perfected. So, but then, like he used to help me in accounts. Other guys used to, but Volan used to be done by me. I was Volan expert. So that's how everything got distributed.
I think you basically try to see what you can do best. So naturally, we had our own strengths and weaknesses. So if he was good on advice, on research, he did that. I was good on execution, trade, accounting, a lot of other administrative issues. So the natural division was more on the basis of kind of I think what you like, what you don't like, as well as what are your strengths. I think, but the more important thing is that trust in each other. Complete blind faith, you call it, or blind trust, where we never had any kind of I think at least incidents where I could have questioned him on certain issues or he could have questioned me. So I think the trust thing went very well. The chemistry and of course the fire was there to build the business in both of us. He had a very long term. He used to think for 10 years, 20 years. I may be thinking for 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, that kind of stuff. So I think the natural alignment of our own nature, our own kind of strengths really aligned us, and that glued I think both of us together.
If there were, since today's theme is on partnership, if there were, very quick, few observations that you would like to share on how does one go ahead and forge successful partnerships? I mean, some of the things you have pointed out, but if there are any 3 or 4 highlights of how does one forge successful partnerships?
I think trust is the most important thing. Without that, the things cannot last. And we have seen trust between the brothers, or trust between the partners, or even kind of I think promoters is really creating havoc in the marketplace. So I think this 30 years partnership is the basic foundation pillar is trust. And second thing is that you got complementary skills, where he's good in something, I'm maybe good in something, and you build on each other's strength. And of course, values very important from day one. We as you said, that books has to be clean. The treatment to your clients, treating your employees has to be very very fair and transparent. So values, I think the vision also. I think he had of course a very long term vision. So he used to excite me a lot, and I sometimes was laughing that he's easily I think trying to talk to bigs or kind of I think just.
So was my wife.
So, but that kind of faith he had and that kind of passion he had. So these are few things which really has helped us in making the business at where we are today. Ramdev, you want to say?
I mean, this, having a very clear goal and the commitment to the goal. So, like when you're traveling in a car, the driver has the same goal of reaching your Pune, and you have this as a passenger, you have the same goal of reaching Pune safely. Okay, I mean, one is hired and other guy is a Malik, but the the alignment of goal in the roles of the two guys in the car is different, but the goal is same. That commitment to reach to Pune in time, and the complementarity of the skills is extremely important, both, and have that mutual trust and faith and this thing, and play for the long term. I mean, and you have to tolerate each other. In partnership, what happens is, and I have seen even among our friends, I mean, some of the brilliant experiments. I mean, I used to think that buggers, these guys are going to do better than us or run faster than us. But what happens is that in partnership, if you don't tolerate, because nobody is made perfect. I've never come in time. So Modi started saying Ramdev means 15 minutes baad tak maaf kar diya, sir. He is perfectly on time, and you see how irritating it is. Meeting is at 4 o'clock. I will typically land at 4:15. So, but then you have to tolerate. Abhi karo kya? So, but then I had to also tolerate in terms of I had to become a little better. Okay, let's come at 405 times. So it is very important. And then that having faith that boss, everything we are doing in terms of best possible way. You put your best forward. We invest, both the savings go in same pool. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. When it works very well, then of course you get kudos. But if it doesn't work, and actually it's a colossal mistake, I mean, if you, and then you start fighting for that, what really happened, it doesn't work. We have to be swim together and sing together. That commitment is extremely important because businesses, particularly this broking business, has huge volatility. And I mean, like you grow by 10 times in 3 years, and then you sink to by one fourth, 2/3, 3/4. In those kind of situations, if you go to find faults with your among your own partners, the employees will get the signal, and then the organization is gone. They will play the politics, and if you want to create a political organization, you have to have a political relationship among your own managing partners or whatever you are. So that those values were very clear in our mind, and a lot of these values I got it from Buffett's writings. What kind of employees you must recruit, what is the importance of integrity in businesses. So all those things we brought to bear in this partnership.